All right, Kenman here. Today we are going to complete my Kenman pick series for 2023. If you have not seen any yet, bing, there is the playlist right there. What I did is I went through all of my knives and I picked out several kind of picks that I had for this year in different price ranges. Like up to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, etc., etc. And we have now hit the max of my personal collection. These are the top dogs, the most expensive ones that I have. So we're going to go through this one and we'll close out this for the 2023 picks. Before we start, I'm not sponsored by anyone and I purchase everything at retail price. I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. All right, so these are all basically between like $140 and $200, and that's kind of where my top range is. There's $300, $600 knives that I would love to get that I don't personally have. Try not to spend too much, but you know, here and there I'm saving up. There's some Kunwus that I'd like to get. But we are looking at basically the top ones in my personal collection. And so we'll go over that today. This is the first one. This is the MSI Microtech Standard Issue. This one came out this year. If you look right there, 9, is that in focus? 9/2023. Has not been out for very long. I think that's actually the second official release of it, because they were out and then they were out of stock and then they came back in stock and then I picked one up. But yeah, Microtech Standard Issue has an M390 MK blade. I got the apocalyptic finish, so it has kind of that two-tone. You can see that different brushed area. Very cool. This has the ram lock, which is just awesome. It's basically like an Axis style lock. Helps really swing. That blade's got some weight, but you can see it's really easy. It's got these nice, really large X-lock grips on each side. It's got this spring that actuates it. Very, very cool lock. And as you can see, it swings it out really easy. That blade is heavy. I would say one gripe that I personally, and several other people have said, is it basically, there isn't much of a detent because of this lock. See how you can kind of flick that like that. And so you kind of you have to give it a little extra boom to get it out, when sometimes if it's got that pressure, you have to build it up a little bit and then it'll just snap out. Sometimes you almost have to help swing this one out. Ultimately, is that really a downside to how awesome this knife is? It's got this injection molded polymer handle. They have a few different types. I know that there's some companies that are going to be making some aftermarket scales pretty soon. I'm going to be looking into that. Pick one up for sure. Pocket clip's kind of big, but I don't mind it too much. I do like the handle. I like the way these triangles are there. It does feel nice in my hand personally. It's a bigger blade. It's a heavy blade. You can hear it just slam open and closed. Oh, it's great though. Really fun. Microtech MSI. This is $180 out the door as is. They have some with serrated edges. I got no serrations. I prefer that personally. But yeah, $180 will get you the MSI. They're not always in stock. This is also a complete USA, American-made knife right there. So some people are definitely on board with something like that. But what does everyone think about it? Kind of choke up on there a little bit. This is just a great, thick, heavy duty. Look at those big jimps on there. Just a fun knife. I love it. If you like the shape and style of this, I would recommend picking up the MSI. Microtech is making some cool things. Next on the list, we have the Benchmade Tagout. I really, really like this knife. All my knives need to be wiped off. Kenman, what is the deal? So Benchmade is doing some cool stuff. Everybody really is kind of, they all have the Benchmade Bug Out. I saw the bug out. The bug out's very similar to the tagged out, but it's just smaller. And if you've watched my channel, I have a larger hand and I prefer a bigger knife. And so I looked at that bug out and kind of what people had to say. And then I saw the tagged out. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, yep, that's it right there. This thing is cool. It's big. It's got their axis lock, which works great. It's got a real nice flick action on that hole right there. Thumb it out really good. The one thing I'm not a fan of is because they make these like the bug out, it's very light. It's designed to be really light. These kind of squeeze and flex, but it is a popular knife. So I can get some aftermarket scales. I've seen some titanium scales. I think Flytanium makes them. I'm very much considering picking those up. They will increase the price of the knife quite a bit. The Benchmade Tagout comes with a CPM 154 blade, which is awesome. And it's this Grivery polymer handle, which is this light, ultralight handle. Like I said, I would like to get an titanium handle. And if you watch the channel, you know I do some titanium anodizing. Here, bing. But what I would love to do is I would love to get the titanium handle for this and then anodize it in a color that's kind of close to this orange. It's not gonna, you can't really get this exact kind of orange when you do titanium anodizing, but it would be kind of cool to try that. Get it kind of close. It would be kind of more yellow, but or I could do it blue or green or something, but I don't know. This knife looks really cool with the orange. I like it. It's a fun knife. I like the blade shape of it. I like the action on it. $180 if you're looking to buy this thing as is right here. Those titanium scales I'm looking at, they're about $100. So if you were to get this with titanium scales, you'd be looking at about a $280 knife all out the door. Also Benchmade, completely American-made knife right here. Oops. You can just swing it in and out like that. I love the flick out action on this is really nice. It's a bigger, nice clip point blade. Do some really nice work with it. I just wish it was a little bit heavier. And if I put those titanium scales on there, they definitely would be. But yeah, good knife. Like it. Benchmade's cool. They tend to be a little bit more expensive. But there's a few of the Hunter series kind of knives like that I'm a fan of. Might get some more in the future. Let's move on. Look at what we have here. See, I put it in my hand. It doesn't look quite as big, but boom. This is the Maxace Goliath. Let's just go ahead and look the pyrite really quick. Yeah. The Maxace Goliath is a beast. I bought this knife, so excited, and I knew that the pocket clip does not switch for a lefty, and I'm a lefty, and I couldn't do that, and I still had to have this knife. This knife is super fun. I like larger knives, and when I saw this one, I think it was a MC video. If you haven't seen Metal Complex, go check him out. Makes some really good informative videos. But yeah, he reviewed this and I saw it and it was like, wow, that's just an absolute beast. 10-inch all across the board. That's craziness, right? My span's longer than that. But it's a heavy knife, so it just drops. But the action is really nice. It's got just that flipper tab. Boom. Tell me this knife is not rad. Ah, come on. As a lefty, when you have a liner lock, you have to reach a little bit more to get it to drop. I kind of fail at that once in a while. I'd love to get myself, like I said, that Kunwu. There's a $300 Kunwu that is a complete lefty liner. Oh, that would be awesome to have that exact action. One day. But Maxace Goliath. This has an SLD magic blade, and it's a Sanmai blade, which means it's a sandwiched blade. So if you see that line along there, right? And if we look, let's see if I can get it to focus on this back spine right here. should be able to see. I can't tell if that's focusing or not. There we go. You can see that line. There's 3 layers. So basically, it's the main piece, and then it's got a jacket of 2 pieces sandwiching it together. So you get this nice SLD Magic Sand My Blade. But man, tell me that's not just gorgeous. Let's get up close. So this one has a G10 handle, but then everything else is titanium. So that bolster and all these pieces are all titanium. Very cool knife. This is $140, which is, yes, that's expensive. But when you look at this, you get that Sand My Blade, SLD Magic, titanium. It's huge, gorgeous, great action. You got that milled section in the flipper tab, that extra little detail. Flips out great for 130, 140 bucks. That's crazy. I love it. If I could just get that clip on the other side, that would be something. But it did not stop me from getting it. I saw this Goliath and it was a must-have. All right. Couple more. One of my favorites. These are all kind of one of my favorites, but these last 2 are definitely in the top 3 or whatever. This is the Demco AD20.5. Ugh. Shark lock. Listen to that sound. That action. It's a can't do it with my right hand, huh? It's an ambidextrous lock, the shark lock. So what happens is you squeeze this down here. It's got a spring that pushes it up, and that kind of holds onto the blade. But once the blade gets loose, then it swings. I can't do it slow. Then you can just swing it free. It flicks out really easy. Thumb stud works really easy. Very ambidextrous, very fidgety. The clickety sounds are very satisfying. Everything about this knife is awesome. Demco AD20.5. Mine has a G10 scale. I'd love to get a titanium scale on there. Whoops. This one has the AUS 10A blade steel with the kind of clip point. You can also get what they call like the shark's foot, which I would like to get. I would like to get the nicer version of this. The original American version is bigger, it's thicker. The pivot, instead of being this small section with that, like the PA wampum around it, that's in the Demco knives, that's all the pivot. So it'd be a larger pivot. This is the smaller pivot, it's cheaper. But I'd love to get the one that's wider, larger pivot, get that shark foot blade on there, and then the titanium handle. They have a titanium handle. You got several different types that you can get aftermarket. Very exciting, very fun knife. I'd love to get one of those other ones, but the one I'm looking at is probably about $600. This one you get for about 150 bucks, as is right here. But the ambidexterity, the ability to use this with either hand pretty easily makes this really fun. Like I said, it's a very fidgety knife. The flick action is great. That action, just pretty much all the action of it, it's awesome. This knife, look at it. It's gorgeous. I mean, everyone has personal taste. This is Kenman all day, top 3 without a doubt. The only change I would make is, like I said, if I had a titanium handle, this would be one of my absolute favorite knives. That shark lock, though, it's just fantastic. Did I miss anything on that? 150 bucks for the Demco AD20.5. Okay, the last one, my favorite knife that came out this year, also probably in my top 3. Something about this with the larger size, my larger hand, a button lock, this huge hole. We are looking at the CJRB slow open Frack. CJRB Frack. I got the full titanium handle with the frag pattern, the titanium pocket clip. It's got the S90V blade steel. Did you see I just did that? I've done that a couple times now where I'm holding it weird, where I got my finger on the button. I'm not going to be able to recreate it anymore now. But I'm kind of holding it where my hand's pushing against the button. See, now I'm not going to be able to redo it. I love this knife. It's fantastic. Get up close like this. It's got those big jimps. Choke up section right there. It's the button lock. Button locks are fantastic, ambidextrous, lefty friendly lock mechanisms. That titanium frag pattern, come on. And look at the S90V with that, that kind of, I don't know what they call that finish, but it's just got that kind of polished, brushed kind of sheen to it. Love this knife. It's only been out for a few months. As soon as I saw the prototype for it, I was instantly sold. The pyrite is an amazing knife, and this is basically an XL pyrite with a funky blade, kind of like a Lago, if you know anything about CJRBs. But, man, awesome. So, with that button lock, S90V blade, titanium handle, great action, flicks out good, sometimes, thumbs out good, huge knife. This is top 2 favorite knives. Probably my favorite knife I own, but it's also the most expensive knife I own at $200, if I didn't say that. It may not be $200 for long. I know when they initially showed it, it was like $260 to $300. But then when they have when they go on sale, then they're like, oh, down to $200. So you can still get them for, well, if you can get one. They were kind of out of stock in a few places in this particular style. But I think if they are available, you can still get them at $200. They do have a $69 version that is in like a steel. They also have a G10, I think. So if you're looking for this knife, you really like this knife, you want that bigger knife, you can get this for $70 in the base model version. But like I said, this is the $200 version right here. So let's go ahead and get that last group out for our last episode of the Kenman Pick series for 2023. Oh, that thing barely fits. I'm going to flip that over. And there it is. That's just not, okay, one more. So you almost got to give it a little extra push sometimes at MSI, but man, it's a sexy looking blade. Okay, let's make them look pretty. One more time through this list of over 100. We have the Microtech Standard Issue, or MSI, M390 MK blade steel, injected molded polymer handle. This one has the apocalyptic finish, two-tone, $180, ram lock, excellent knife. Benchmade Tagout, got that grivery polymer handle. This has got a CPM 154 blade steel, and it's $180, axis lock, great knife. Maxace Goliath. We've got G10 and titanium for the handle, and then we have the SLD Magic with the My Sandwich blade. This one's 135, I think, or 140. I should have wrote that down, huh? Yeah. Maxace Goliath, huge knife. Love that knife. It's just super cool. All right. We have the Demco AD20.5. Mine's got the G10 handle. It's got an Ace 10A blade steel with that shark lock. $150 for that at that style right there. And then the last one on this list, CJRB Frack with the titanium frag pattern and the S90V blade steel and a button lock. That's $200. That is going to conclude this year's 2023 Kenman Pick series. I hope everyone liked it. It was kind of a fun thing that turned into way more than I thought it was going to be. But that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Having fun making them. I get a little long-winded and spread them out. Next thing you know, I've got 6, 7, 8 of these. It was a good time. That's going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Got a lot of fun stuff coming in 2024. Stay tuned. Stay sharp. We'll see you next time.